Hi there, everybody. Today we're going to start looking at a bunch of stories that all happened pretty close together. All happened in the last week that Jesus was with us until God brought him back after he died. And there was a lot that happened then. There was the big celebration when he arrived in Jerusalem, big city, and people were so happy that they threw him a parade and they shouted, "Hosanna! Hosanna! Hosanna! Hooray! We're glad you're here! Save us!" Because they needed a lot of help and they knew it. What they needed help with was that their country was being run by people that were from far away and were trying to control it. Now we talk about wars and soldiers and things, and there are soldiers that help protect people, but these were soldiers that were trying to do some bad stuff. And they had managed to take control of this entire country, and people were not happy about it. They wanted to be free again. But then there were other people that thought, if we fight back, we might get hurt. Because they had been hurt many times. And there were people that said, don't do it right now, it isn't safe. And they started arguing with each other. And I mean, they got into big fights about, should we get rid of these people, the Romans? Or should we work with them? Should we pay taxes to them? Or should we refuse to pay taxes? Should we be friends with the people who collect taxes for them, like Zacchaeus? How do we keep them from getting mad at us? Because they still are stronger. And if they get mad at us, we might be in trouble. On the other hand, if somebody is a bully, aren't you supposed to stand up to them? All of those questions, and not a single one of those questions had an easy answer. They were all going around when Jesus arrived in Jerusalem. And one of the many reasons that Jesus actually got killed was because people were afraid of what him being there would do to all the ways that people were looking at things, and that the mean soldiers would get angry at everybody, and not just him, but everybody, and do some damage if he started telling people not to do everything that their king, the emperor, told them to do. So there was Jesus, and there was a holiday coming up, and the holiday was called Passover. It was a holiday that Jewish people still celebrate that reminds them of the time when the people were slaves in Egypt and God sent Moses to help them leave and become free. And people would go to Jerusalem and have a very special meal together and spend some time in the temple. That would help them to celebrate. And Jesus and his friends were among those people that said, yeah, let's go. It's a good thing to do, to go. But when they got there, they ended up in the middle of all these arguments that were happening all over the place. And some of the people who were there, they were arguing about it and trying to figure out what to do. And some of them really seriously were trying to keep people safe. And other people, they didn't care. And Jesus went into the temple during that week and he started teaching people. And some of the things that he said got them mad at him. And so they thought, listen, things are bad enough as they are. And if we have to deal with this Jesus guy too, Caesar's really going to be mad at us, and we're all going to be in big trouble. And there was one man who said, it's better for one person to die than for the whole nation to be wiped out. And so they decided, they were going to do that. And it turned out to be a very bad thing that they did. Because here's the thing. Doing something wrong, even if you want something good to come out of it, always ends up badly. You can't do wrong to do right. But they tried. And one of the people that they got to get involved with it was one of Jesus's best friends, one of the disciples, a guy whose name was Judas. Judas had a problem. He liked money. He was kind of greedy. And they used that against him. They said, we'll pay you, we'll give you something if you'll hand Jesus over to us. 30 pieces of silver, they said, we'll pay you if you just tell us where to find him. That's all we're asking. Just tell us where to find him and we'll take it from there. And he agreed to do that. It's sad. If you've ever had a friend that turned their back on you, or that turned out not to be a good friend that you thought was a good friend, Jesus understands that. It happened to him. But it wasn't just a friend making him look bad or playing a stupid trick on him. It wasn't even a friend just calling him names or making fun of him. This is far beyond that. And anything that ever happens to you like that, Jesus understands, because he went through the whole thing. And we're going to pick this story up tomorrow to find out what happened from there. If you do have good friends, though, say a prayer for them too before you go to sleep tonight. Because there are always a lot more good friends than there are bad ones. Don't forget that. Good night.